Hey Flower Tribe, don't worry if your Limelight Hydrangeas look like this and it's the middle of spring. It's okay. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranberry Fields Flower Farm here in Cranberry, New Jersey. And I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun, free flower tip video. So let's dive right in, guys. So here it is, the middle of April, and I still don't have a load of new growth on my Limelight Hydrangea, and that's totally normal. So these gals usually come in a little bit later. So you can see there's a little bit of evidence right now of some of the buds that are coming in, and they're going to start giving me some beautiful branches and some beautiful flowers pretty soon. But right now, I mean, like I said, it's the middle of April and it still looks like it's very scraggly. And a lot of Flower Tribe members have sent in questions saying, oh, is my Limelight Hydrangea dead? It looks like it doesn't have any buds. It looks like there's nothing going on. It's already spring. So I'm here to tell you, don't worry about it. And I wanted to show you the Limelight Hydrangea that's actually on the other side of me, because it has even less growth than this. And the one I'm going to show you is my big mama Limelight Hydrangea that you see in a lot of my videos. So this is what this giant mature one looks like at this time of year. So I mean, this is really like not much going on. There's hardly any growth on it. So I'm not too worried. You can see though that there is some growth over here, just a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of this plant is just looking like it's still dormant, and that's okay. So I wouldn't panic just yet. So I'm going to give all of my hydrangeas at least a few more weeks before I decide whether or not there's some removals that are needed. Like sometimes you just have to remove a plant if it's dead. But I would definitely give it more time to bloom. But something that you could do right now is you can get rid of the branches that are cracked, that look diseased, that are kind of snapped off, because that's just putting like extra pressure on the plant to have to support them. So I'm going to come in here, and like right here is like a great example of like there's just like some twigs in here that are stuck inside the plant. The plant doesn't need to support this, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of this guy here. These spindly looking ones, you can get rid of these too. This one was just kind of hanging out. But you can also kind of get rid of those little spindly looking branches that are coming off, because they're not going to give you beautiful thick flowers. I would rather have my hydrangea concentrate its energy on the thicker branches and kind of get rid of these little spindly looking guys. So I'm going to come in here and I could just kind of get rid of some of those. And that's just going to help my plant be healthier. I'm also looking for branches that are crisscrossing each other, because the branches that are crisscrossing each other are going to wind up rubbing against each other. So here's a really good example up here. So these guys are rubbing against each other. It's like a big mess here. There's no aeration, and it's going to start causing some possible disease here. It's going to be a great place for insects to kind of get their little bodies into it, because it's going to start wearing away. So I'm going to choose the weaker of the two branches, and I'm going to give that a pruning. I'm going to cut that right here. And I'm noticing this is also kind of like a weak branch that looks like it's dead. So I'm actually going to come down and I'm going to clip it right about here. I'm going to gently remove it because I don't want to get rid of those buds. Okay, we'll get rid of that guy. And then here's another spindly looking one. I'm going to get rid of him. This one looks like it's really, really dead. So you can tell there's a hole in it. This is another place that insects would love to inhabit. So I'm going to get rid of that before I have any problems. So guys, this hydrangea was pruned back by about 1/3, and I did this in the beginning of spring. So you want to make sure that when you're doing a lot of your pruning, it's when the plant is still dormant. So this one was pruned back by about 1/3. A lot of times I don't even prune back my Limelight hydrangeas. And this is one example of that, the one right over here. You can tell the flower heads are still on it. I put a little tag, there's like a little neon tag over here that I like to remind myself of which hydrangeas I want to prune back in spring and which ones I kind of want to leave alone. So I decided last year that I wanted to leave this one alone, and I'm just going to give it a little deadheading. So deadheading is very different than pruning. So I'm just going to come down and I'm going to go right above a fresh set of these little leaf nodes, and I'm going to give it a clip. Because once again, the plant doesn't have to support these, dead flower heads. And I did love the way that it looked over the winter, and it helped provide some winter interest. It helped be a little like place of protection for some of our little critters that are back here. But now it's time for these guys to go. And the same thing here, like you could tell, this is where a flower head used to be. I'm going to clip that, and I'm just going to come in here and clip off all of these guys. Now's also a great time to apply a little bit of fertilizer around the drip line of your Limelight hydrangea. And sometimes I'll use rose tone, I've used holly tone, and sometimes I don't use any kind of fertilizers. If I have a really great season with my Limelights, a lot of times the next year I'll just check the soil to see if everything's kind of in balance, and then I'll kind of leave it be. I'm a really huge believer in less is more, especially in the garden. So if your Limelight hydrangea looks like this, or it looks like the hydrangea that's in back of me, I would not worry about it. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and please hop on over to my Cranberry Fields Instagram page and say hi to us over there. And also know that my online flower courses that teach you how to grow amazing flowers in your own backyards are on sale. I have them on my Retrieve online flower course library, and I'll put that in descriptions below. I also wanted you to know that I have a brand new podcast out. It's called Gardening Flowers with Kelly Lehman, and I will put that in descriptions below. And I hope you guys enjoy some of these quick, fun gardening tips that you can listen to while you're working out, or carpooling with the kids, or driving to work, or gardening. And a lot of you have asked me to come up with that, and you asked for it, you got it. So please let me know where you're viewing this from in this great big beautiful world, and I will see you in the next video. I'm a really huge believer in you could do less with more. You could do more with less sometimes. I'm a really huge believer in less is more, especially in the garden. So